Okay, chapter 3, sections 2 through 4. We are talking about, we're taking 3 sections and we're combining them into one. Okay, we're talking about the base rate and part. What is the base rate and part? Base is a whole or total, starting point which something is being compared. It's the beginning, it's the entire thing. Rate is percent. Now remember, percent, we just found out yesterday, you can write percent 3 different ways. It also can be written as a fraction. It can also be written as a decimal. For example, if you have $10, 50% of $10, half of $10, and 0.5 of $10 are all the same thing. Okay, they're all $5. You can use fractions, decimals, and percents. Very interchangeable. Okay, part. The result of multiplying the base and the rate. It is the fraction part of it. If you go back to our $10 example, the part is the actual $5. The part is $5, and 6% is 5. That's what I'm talking about. That's the part. Okay, the formula is very easy. Okay, it's just part equals base times rate. Part equals base times rate. Now, you use this every single day. Okay? Can anybody think of a time when you use this formula when you think of something higher? So multiply by a rate, you get a part. Everybody in here uses it. Well, almost. It's happening right now. People are using this right now, all the time. If they ever paid sales tax for something they bought, you pay sales tax for something you bought? Absolutely. Okay, so your actual amount of sales tax, the money, okay, how did they figure out how much you had to pay? Yeah, they took the total amount of the item, okay, so the price of the item, and what did they multiply by? The sales tax rate. That's going to vary based on the county that you're in. If you go to Cleveland, you buy something at Speedway, it's going to cost a little bit different than if you buy it in Tuscarawas County, just because the sales tax rates are going to be different. In Cleveland, it's like 7.5%. Tuscarawas County, it's 6.5%. I think it might have gone up to 6.45. Did it go up? Yeah, recently. Sales tax, the amount that you have to pay sales tax. Now, it's not the total amount you have to pay, it's just the amount. Anybody ever seen, you go to the gas station and you buy, what do you buy at the gas station? Mountain Dew. Okay, you buy Mountain Dew, it's what, $1.50. Multiply it by 6.5%, you'll see where it says tax. I'll have like 57 cents, whatever, 10 cents, or whatever it could be. That's the actual sales tax. That's the part. Okay, the base is the amount, the cost of Mountain Dew, the $1.50. The rate is wherever you bought it, the sales tax rate. And usually it's right beside where it says tax on your receipt. Look at your receipt. When else do I use E equals D times R? Absolutely. Paychecks. What part of the paycheck? Yeah. Social Security. Okay. How many of you get the entire paycheck or the amount that you pay? Is anybody in here? Hopefully not. If you do, that means you're not getting paid legally. If you look at your pay stub, they take the total amount or the gross pay and they multiply it by a rate, which would be the Social Security rate, and they get the amount they take out for Social Security. So your Social Security equals your gross pay, the entire thing, times the Social Security rate. I'm going to abbreviate Social Security so I can put it in here. And the government determines the Social Security rate for everyone. They take out Social Security, they take out Medicare, they take out a percentage for federal tax, they take out a percentage for city tax. Okay, those are all, that's the formula they use, part equals base and rate. They take the amount of the gross pay, multiply it by the rate, and that's how much they take out. A percent of your pay. Let's do one more. One more that you use almost all. I like to go shopping for stuff that's on sale. Absolutely. You don't like to shop, you like to pay full price for everything?
I like to shop.
You don't like to shop altogether? Okay, well.
I'm gonna do that.
A hunting store?
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. So if you go shopping at the hunting store and they have a big rack that says, everything on this rack, 30% off. That would be wonderful. How do you find out how much you take off? Okay. It says sometimes it doesn't. Okay, the discount equals the original price. I think that's why I like quotes. The sales rate. Or if you want to put the discount rate, whatever. It's the percent off, 30% off, 15% off, 20% off, 75% off. Those are my favorite sales.
Yeah, we should do that original stuff. And then
Like that, I know.
came back up.
I know how it works. I like to circle the bottom. You say $85 today. Okay, when we do word problems, there are some hints. Okay, some keywords that you need to look for and try to recognize. The keywords are of, is, and percent. Okay, in math, what does of mean? Multiply it. Okay, well, which of these is most likely to be attached to of? Not the rate, the base. Okay? The rate might be, yes, the rate and the base are going to be attached, but what I want you to recognize is that most of the time the base is attached to the of. And we have a way that we find the percent or the rate. We look for the word percent or percent symbol. Okay? That's how we find percent. But when you're looking to try to find the difference between the base and the rate, or the base and the part, is, what does is mean? Equals. And that is the one that's usually attached to the part. Because you're taking, I'm talking about sales tax, I say $5 is 50% of 10. Okay, $5 is 50% of 10. The of is attached to the 10. That's my base. The is attached to the 5. That's my part. And then we have a percent to tell us the rate. Okay? It's not always going to be like this. Okay? But most of the time that's how it is. Look for that of and that is, you know, so it'll kind of key you into which one it is, the part of the base. All right, let's do the first problem. Word problem. In a recent survey of 480 adults, 55% said they would prefer to have their wedding at a religious site. How many said they would prefer the religious site? Well, go ahead and highlight or circle or underline your key stuff. We have 480 adults. We have 55%. Well, what word is attached to my 480? Of. Of usually keys me off and tells me it's the base. So I have my part equals base times rate. I have my of saying 480 and my rate at 55%. And I'm looking for my part. And that kind of even hints it off at the beginning. We said solving for the part. Now, what is 480 times 55%? Or you can put in 480 times 0.55. Do not put in 480 times 0.55%. It's either or. You either move the decimal place to make it a decimal, or you put the percent symbol in. Percent symbol just tells the calculator to move the decimal place. You cannot tell it's both. So 480 times, what is it? 264. So 264. Oh, okay. 264. And part. What does part stand for? The what? I'll make it further religious site. I guess I should put people in there. I'm just going to say people. Don't have to write it all out. Now, something that you need to make sure you're aware of at all times, okay, when you're trying to solve these word problems. This part and this rate always have to be talking about the same thing when you're solving a problem. The part and the rate always need to be talking about the same thing. The part and the rate always need to talk about the same thing. For example, in this problem, the part is the number of people that prefer a religious site. The rate is the percent of people that prefer a religious site. Do you understand? If the question up here said, how many people prefer a non-religious site? That means I either have to change this rate to 45%, or I have to subtract this number from 480. This number from 480 to 5. How many people want a non-religious site? You must make sure that this rate and this part are talking about the same thing when you put it in. That's probably 90% of mistakes. Okay? The math is hard. We don't make a mistake dividing and multiplying. Okay? It's plugging in the right stuff. Okay? Because the word problems can get tricky and they get harder. Okay? So let's try another one. Finding the base. The Chevy Camaro was introduced in 1967. Sales that year were 220,917, which was 46.2% of the number of Ford Mustangs sold in the same year. Find the number of Mustangs sold in 1967. Now we have a lot of ofs in here, but which one is actually the of that we need? We know that we have part equals base times rate. Well, I know for sure this one is my rate because of why? The percent sign, right? So go ahead and rule that one out right away. This one's my percent sign. Oops, what is my rate? 46.2%. Now, remember, what does the word of mean? Multiply. Well, I have 46.2% times the number of Ford Mustangs. Do I know the number of Ford Mustangs? No. But so that's what I'm multiplying for, and that is what my B is. That's what I'm multiplying 46.2 by. That is what I'm looking for at the B, but I don't know, so that's where we come up with our variable. And my part, what does 46.2 stand for? 46.2 is what? Yeah, the number of Camaros sold. 46.2% is the number of Camaros sold, which is 220,972. Or 917. Sorry about that. So, by just looking at this, did we sell more Camaros or more Mustangs? More Mustangs. Because we only sold a percentage of all the Mustangs we sold for Camaros. There's only 46.2% the number of Mustangs. Now, how do I solve? Just divide by 46.2% or 0.462, whatever you decide, doesn't matter. And what do you get? Is it 10,900 and no, that's not right. That's the answer to number 3.
4,000. Whoa.
Should be a large number.
478,175.
Now, can we solve a decimal place cards? So we round up or down. is it 75 or something? 75. Okay, 478,175. What? What are we looking for? Yeah, we're looking for the number of Mustangs sold. Does that make sense? Colton just said that we sold more Mustangs than we did Camaros. Absolutely, we sold 407. Is that about half of the number of 220? Is about half. 46.2 is about 50%. Does that make sense? I'm looking at my problem. Now the last one. This one I forgot to type in a question, so I'm going to give you the question at the end. Find the rate. Advertising expenditures for Trevor's tractor repair are as follows. Newspaper, $2,250. Television, $1,425. Radio, $954. Sales pages, $1,605. Outdoor, probably signs, I'm guessing billboards, $1,950. And miscellaneous, $2,775. What was the rate, or what percentage did we use for radio advertising? What percentage do we use for radio advertising? That's your question. I'm going to go ahead and type that in there. Okay, we know we're going to use part equals base times rate. Okay, because that's what we're working on now. You're not always going to know that, but at least this time we know we're using part equals base times rate. Think about what part stands for and what base stands for. You have to look at the front of your paper. What does base stand for? The total. The original. What is the total? All of them added up. Okay, so somebody...
10,959.
Thanks, Logan. 10,959. Find my rate. And what's my part? Part is the portion that matches the rate. What's that? Yeah, 954. Do my part and my rate match? Are we looking for the rate of the amount sold on radios, and is that the amount sold on radios? Yeah, they match. So go ahead and solve. Divide both sides by 10,959. And what do we get for?
6.71%.
So, well, you got 0.0871. I'm guessing in your calculator. I'm going to put that down so everybody can see what you did. Okay, so you got 0.0871, and then in order to get a rate, we need a percentage. So we just move the decimal place from the decimal to percent, move it twice to the right, we get 8.71% spent on radio advertising.